Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in the previous section, we learned about post-save signal and saw how Django automatically creates a profile whenever a new user was created. But Django doesn't only notify us after saving an object. Sometimes we want to modify data before it reaches the database. Sometimes we want to perform an action after an object has been deleted. And sometimes we want to know when a many-to-many relationship changes. That's exactly what Django's other built-in signals allows us to do. In this section, we will explore three important signals: pre-save, post-delete, other commonly used built-in signals. By the end of this section, you will know exactly when each signal should be used and what problem it solves. Before writing any code, let's understand what actually happens when Django saves an object. Suppose we will create a user using the use.save method. Many beginners think Django immediately stores the data in the database. Actually, several things happens in order. So first, create user object whenever we call it. So here, the object is first created in the memory. Before Django writes anything to the database, it first fires the pre-save signal. This gives us chance to modify or validate data. After the object has been successfully saved, Django fires post save. Think of it like sending a package. So as I shown here, the quality check will happen before shipping. The delivery confirms after the shipping. The same idea applies for the pre-save and post-save. So what is pre-save? Let's imagine users create a username like Amruth, or sometimes they will enter like this, or sometimes they will enter the capital letter itself, or sometimes they will mix it both or something when typing. So your application wants every user to save in uppercase. Without pre-save, you have to remember to do this everywhere. Like you, whenever you save, you have to type user dot username is equal to user dot user down dot upper, and then you have to save the user like this. So every management command, that's a duplicate logic. So instead we can use the pre-save. So now let's go into the code. So I will go for the signal here. Now along with the post save, let me import the pre-save also. So here, just like post save runs after saving, pre-save runs before saving. Nothing has been returned to the database yet. Now let us create a receiver here. Instead of the user, I'm going to pass the profile here, since we want a change in the profile itself. Now I'm going to define something called uppercase. So here, instead of changing the username only, I will change the bio for here. And here also, since bio is optional, first I have to make sure the bio is entered. So first let's understand every line. So here, the receiver, we're telling Django, whenever a profile is about to be saved, run this function first. Notice we have listening to profile here instead of user. Remember from the part 2, instant is the object currently being saved. If the profile contains something like I love Django in the bio, instance become the profile itself. We simply modify it. Instant.bio is equals to instant.bio.upper before Django writes anything. Now for testing, I will go for the admin panel. Let me save this first, and program is running. So I will go for the admin panel, and here I will go for a profile for admin 1, and here I will type something like I love Django Signals. Now let me save this, and if I go here, so here the signals are not the function is not running because here I'm using post save instead of pre save. Now let it run, and now if I save and continue editing, as you can see, the It has converted to capital. So did we manually call this function? No. Did we edit the admin? No. Did we change any views? No. So Django automatically executed the signal before saving. That's the beauty of pre-save. So if we go for a comparisons of pre-save and post-save, pre-save will modify the data and then send the data to database, and post-save, first it goes to the database and then performs an actions. So we will use the pre-save whenever a data needs to change before storing, and post-save when something should happen after the storage. Now what is post delete? Now let's imagine another situation. Suppose every user uploads a profile picture. So each user will have profile.jpg. Later the user gets deleted. The database row disappears, but the image still exists on the disk. Now your server starts filling up with unused files. This is where post delete becomes useful. So in this case, I'm not gonna change any module. So, but I will show how it works here. Now I will just import the post delete also. Instead of deleting a picture, I'm gonna show some. So here, whenever a profile is deleted, Django automatically calls this function. Notice the object has already been deleted from the database, but still Django passes us the instance, meaning we still have access to its values like this instance.user.username, user instance.bio or instance.created. Everything is still available inside a signal. So let me try it out. So let me open the terminal, it's running. Now if I go to the admin panel and let me delete this profile. So let me check, I'm passing the profile. Yeah. So I'll pass this admin and let me delete it. As we can see, profile of for the user admin1 has been deleted. Now if I go for the users and go for the admin1 and let me save this. As you can see, our post save will only work if it is creating for the first time, only if created. We are not giving a some condition like if created or not present, then do the things. So for that one also you can use it. So instead of printing, real application often do something like, let me show you. They will either delete uploaded image or delete cached files, write audit logs, notify administration and clear Redis cache. So this signal becomes a cleanup mechanism. Now that we have seen pre-save, post-save and post-delete, let's quickly look at some other useful built-in signals. So first is pre-init. So runs before a model object is created, and post-init runs immediately after the object has been initialized. So also rarely used. We know the pre-save and post-save useful when you need information before the removal. Post-deletes, as we can saw earlier, it runs after the deletion, great for cleanup tasks. And M2M changes. This signal is extremely useful. Suppose a student can join many courses, one course can contain many students. That's a many to many relationship. Whenever someone adds or removes a course, Django fires the M2M changed. You can then update the counts, send notification and log activities. Let's say it's like this. So how this works means, when we create a object, first it is pre-init will run and afterwards post-init will run, then pre-save and the database is saved the data, post-save, pre-delete, when the delete is done, post-delete. So common mistakes are, don't use pre-save to send emails. If the save fails, the email was already sent. Use post-save instead. Don't use post-delete. To access related objects that no longer exist in the database, store what you need before deletion if necessary. Don't modify objects inside post-save without understanding the recursion. Calling save inside post-save can trigger the same signal again. So best practice are pre-save for validation and formatting, post save for notification and side effects, post delete for cleanup. We should always keep the receivers short, move the heavy tasks to celery if needed. So in this section, we explored how Django provides multiple lifecycle signals for different stages of an object's life. We learned that pre-save allows us to modify data before it reaches the database, making it ideal for formatting and validation. We saw how post delete helps clean up resources after an object has been removed, and also took a tour of several other built-in signals that Django provides. Once you understand the purpose of each signal, choosing the right one becomes much easier. So far, we have only used signals that Django provides out of the box. But what if your application needs to react to an event that Django doesn't know about? For example, if a payment succeeds, a order is shipped, or a report is generated, can we create our own signal? The answer is yes. In the next session, we've built our own custom Django signal, learn how to trigger it manually, and then finish by discussing the biggest mistake developers make when using signals and when you should avoid them altogether.